It is a pleasure to be here with you in this time, in this space of your current reality, that is human beings on earth at this time in your lives. We come to you with a mutual understanding of love and respect for one another. For as we are aiding and supporting you on your journeys, you are aiding and supporting us on our journeys. So we thank you for this opportunity to communicate with you. We thank you for your trust in us as you realize the significance of these exchanges. As the world continues to move more in the general direction of happiness, as you say, you will find that these interactions become more and more apparent and more prominent in your life. More of you will become accustomed to receiving messages of this sort from your friends on the other side. And we look forward to the increase in knowing, the increase in wisdom that you will gain from this interaction. We would like to offer you this opportunity to put forth any questions and queries that you may have, and we will do our best to appease your curiosities.
I have a coaching practice, and I asked at the beginning of this year to be out in the world in a bigger way, to be able to reach more people, to help more people. And my concern is, am I trying to reach too broad an audience? Do I need to narrow down who I'm speaking to?
Not necessarily. Again, this is you understanding your own innate self that is guiding you in the direction that you would prefer to go. We would suggest first off by understanding the difference between asking and allowing yourself to hear your own guidance. In other words, it is not necessarily the idea of asking the universe or your guides or yourself for anything in particular. It is about understanding the idea of being in the feeling state of that which you desire. In other words, by asking for something doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to receive that thing. By asking so insistently upon something, you are amplifying the idea of not having it within your realm, within your perspective, within your reach, yes?
Yes.
So that is the underlying lesson in this particular conversation. It will take it into a more realistic sense, let's say, in regards to reaching a larger audience. This is for you to determine. If you feel more comfortable in a smaller setting, then we would say go into a bigger setting. Stepping outside of your boundaries, outside of your limitations where you feel safe. Moving into something a little bit more challenging, moving into the idea of nervousness, moving into the idea of challenging those fears that bring you back into the mindset of perhaps I should stay smaller, yes? So this is for you to determine. Are you thinking about scaling back because this is where you're more comfortable, or are you thinking about scaling back because you feel that you would be more of service to those around you, including yourself, by working within smaller groups? You will be the judge of this.
Yeah, I'm not saying smaller groups, but I guess what I'm saying is, like, right now I'm doing, spirituality. I'm talking about dating. I talk about sex, happiness, love. All of those things, of course, are aspects of life. And I'm wondering, not that I want to scale back, to fewer people. That's not what I'm saying. But the niche that I'm working in, is it better for me to narrow it down and just stay with love and happiness versus happiness, dating, relationships, and love?
Generally speaking, people will be able to relate to specifics underneath those umbrellas, yes?
Yes.
So we would suggest, again, following what feels right to you, with the understanding that people have a better ability to tune into something when they have something more specific in front of them. So all of the topics that you are putting forth fall underneath the umbrella of love and happiness. So we feel that you would be more passionate if you were to break down those ideas into specific topics for people to be able to relate to through their own personal experiences. Yes?
Okay. Thank you.
Does this help?
Yes. Yes. A lot. Thank you. Oh, I was told by another channel that my hands are very powerful and that I'm to begin doing touch healing, hands-on healing. And I guess I have a question as to whether there's some way to amp that up, more than just believing that I can do it, and knowing that I'm the channel for this healing, that it's not me per se, but I'm just wondering, is there some way I can activate it, or speed up the process?
The first distinction that we feel prudent to make is that there are many ways of touching somebody without necessarily touching them physically. In other words, yes, there is the idea of touching physically for the idea of amplifying the energetic flow that will then amplify the healing within the energetic and the physical body. But this does not necessarily have to happen from a physical touch level, from a physical touch perspective. This is a limitation of being a human being. Yes? This kind of tapping into a individual from a soul level for the purpose and the intent of healing can be activated from a hands-off perspective just as well and just as effectively as by touching that individual. Yet, that being said, there are those that prefer the feeling of hands-on. So from a human level, there are those that would feel more comfortable, more in attunement, more in alignment with the facilitator of the healing if they were to feel a touch of some sort, physical contact. Now, in terms of increasing and amplifying the energetic flow, this simply comes from your intent to do so. In all circumstances, regardless of what we were talking about, we suggest asking. Literally asking your higher self, your connection to source creation, to bring forth through you, through your feeling of knowing that you are connected to this source, to this energetic vibration that you are tapping into, that you are tapped into, that you are feeling that energetic flow to the degree that you would like it to. And you will begin to feel it run through your own system and into the system of that person that you are working with, to the point where you can literally turn it on and off like a tap. Following your intuitive self to guide you in terms of how much flow you would like to feel while working in specific areas of the body. Yes? Is this making sense?
Beautifully. Thank you.
Yes.
That was very helpful.
It all stems from your intent. It all stems from your conversation. We use the word ask because this is the word that you understand. But we, again, come back to the idea, it is not so much the asking of, it is the allowing of the movement of energetic flow through you into the individual you are working with the sole intent for that energy to move in the best desired direction that it is needed to increase the healing of the individual that you are working on. Now, for that to be facilitated to the degree of finding healing, the individual that you were working with must be in accordance with the understanding that they are facilitating the healing themselves. You are merely a conduit, the ability, the mediator for them to tap into their own healing. Yes?
In other words, they have to be allowing of that energy to enter their body to do the healing.
Yes, to the degree of finding the healing that they are searching for, that they are coming to you for. There will be a certain degree of healing regardless, because on a deeper level of understanding, they may be in the allowing state, the receptive state of that energy to flow exactly to the degree that they need it to, where it needs to flow to in order to find healing, but to amplify their healing, for them to be operating from a conscious level of awareness that they too are connected to this source, to this energetic vibration, to this divine aspect of who they are. Not just you, the facilitator, but they are too. For you to have that conversation with them prior to the healing session itself, to get an understanding of where they sit at that table in terms of how they understand their own connection, you will find a greater degree of success with that conversation happening prior to the healing session itself per se. It becomes part of the healing session, but to differentiate the conversation from the hands-on or hands-off working with the energetic field. Does this make sense?
Yes. Yes, thank you. Yes, I am doing something currently, but what you just gave me about, connecting to source energy, my high self, and allowing that to be amplified, that was very helpful. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oftentimes, a component that is missing in terms of healing, the healing arts, let's say, is the prerequisite of bringing awareness to the individual you are working with, bringing awareness to their own divinity, to their own creative potential, to their own imagination. It takes imagination and creativity to stir the healing that is required. Does this make sense?
Yes. Yes.
It's thinking outside the box of conventional medicine, where you need to go into surgery to have your gallbladder fixed. Yes? No. It runs far deeper than that. It runs into a level of understanding that it takes creative imagination to stir the healing, to stir the movement within the energetic field that will then allow the healing to happen. We don't know if we're getting this point across as accurately as we could based on the constraints of language. Are you understanding what we're trying to put forth?
I believe so. I was going to suggest that perhaps the person could envision, if they could envision the picture of health and the issue being gone, and how that would feel in their body.
Yes, precisely. Starting with that conversation, bringing them into the place of understanding what it feels like to be in wholeness, to not be in pain, to not be limited by disease or distress or physical pain that prevents them from enjoying their life fully. What does that feel like to them? What would they be doing in their life on a regular daily basis if that pain, if that disease wasn't present in their physical body? And then specifically asking them to research the parts of their body that they're having issues with, understanding the functioning aspect of that physical part of their body. The more awareness you have around anything, the greater the chance of success. In other words, understanding how the human heart works, what it looks like, how big it is, how heavy it is. What does it look like when it's healthy? What does it look like when it's not healthy? Being able to envision the healthy heart pumping the blood the way it is meant to, with a healthy rhythm. Does this make sense?
Yes, that was beautiful. Perfect. Thank you. It's exactly what I needed. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
May I ask a question about my book that is about to be launched?
Yes.
Okay. So I am writing this book from my own perspective with scientific research and studies, etc. Not that I've done, but that I've found to support some of what I'm saying. I want to be sure that I am including everything that I need to include, and I'm just wondering, is there anything in particular that I need to focus on while I'm finalizing or editing that I make sure is in this book.
Again, every step in life is leading you to the point where you are now. In other words, there is always more information. There is always another direction to take. There is always a deeper level of understanding. There will be more books. You don't necessarily need to get it all into this one. As you edit, as you refine, as you meditate, as you go for your walks in the desert, as you contemplate, as you feel the experience of this book as it is now, that if something is missing, that which may or may not be missing will come into your awareness, and you will then follow that lead. Yes? Is this not how the book transpired in the first place?
That's exactly how it transpired, yes.
So it will also, at some point, find an end. You can't go on forever and forever and forever without a book, or you would not accomplish the idea of finishing a book. There is the idea of finishing something, knowing that it may not be completely finished, but another one can be started. It is continual. This is a continual process. Yes?
Yes. I mean, that is the thing about writing a book, is that you want everything to be in it, and it's like a baby. You kind of hold it without releasing it, thinking, well, is everything in it that I want to be in it? And you're absolutely right that there will be more books. Thank you.
With the attention span of the society you're living in currently, we would suggest smaller books and lots of them.
Okay. That's
Yes.
a really good idea. Yes. Thank you.
There are not many people that would sit down and read a 1,000-page book now.
Not now.
Not now. At some point, maybe, in the future. At some point in the past, yes, definitely. But now, as you are authoring books, we would suggest less information per book with more books.
Okay.
Grasping the attention of those around you, understanding the limited time frames that people give themselves, allow themselves for the sake of reading. Yes?
Yes.
This will help you refine what you choose to put in this book, and help you understand that that which is missing can always be added to the next book, and 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 the next book,
Okay.
and the next book.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. May I ask a personal question?
Of course.
Okay.
Are these not all personal questions already?
Oh, yes, but this is like, I guess, near and dear to my heart. So, your channel is partnered with a beautiful man, and I have been in the process of healing, and I am looking forward to having that deep spiritual connection with a partner. Not necessarily marriage, but a committed relationship. And I'm just wondering, well, I have so many questions, but I'll try. What do I need to do to allow this man to show up?
When and where and who will this person be? Yes?
Well,
Probably sitting right beside your passport, your birth certificate. Slightly out of your peripheral vision, but there. In other words, when the timing is right, and we know that you all love this so much, when the timing
Yes.
is right for you, from a higher perspective level, that person will fall into your awareness, into your vision, and that romance will start. That romance will begin. Right now, understanding that the feeling of it, understanding what it feels like to be in that relationship, but being okay with that just being good enough for now, is what will catapult you into the manifestation of that reality much quicker than asking for it to happen, for longing for it to happen. And we understand that you know all this and you feel that you are doing this for the most part, but there is a part of you that isn't just yet. You are still learning this. As you teach others, you are learning and getting closer and closer to really comprehending and understanding this from a deep energetic level. Being okay with having it or not having it. Being in a loving state of your life, of your existence. Enjoying those moments when you sit and think and contemplate about that person and what you would be doing with him or her. You will feel a sense of peace in that feeling. And we encourage you to put yourself in that feeling state of it as often and as frequently as you would like to. Being okay with it either coming into fruition or not. Does this make sense?
Yes.
We know that this is not necessarily the answer that you are seeking, but it is the one that is what your heart is requesting now. To keep moving forward in this direction of understanding. To keep moving forward with your life in the direction that is feeling good. Yes?
Yes.
Recognizing and loving all the steps that you have taken to come to this place right now. And in this place right now, finding wholeness and happiness in your experience without needing anything else. Yes?
Yes. And that is where I'm at, where I'm perfectly happy being alone. I'm very happy being alone. This is what I teach others. So you're just confirming what I've been telling everyone else too. And I'm doing it to the best of my ability. Being in that feeling, that's a really good way to express it. In that feeling place of what it feels like to have him now.
Yes.
And being grateful. Mm-hmm.
This will happen. We can give you a little nugget. This will happen. You will not live the remainder of your years without experiencing this and without feeling this loving connection with another. When the timing is perfect for you, this will come into your reality. Speechless, are we? Now that you have it, what are you going to do with it?
I'll say thank you. Thank you.
We would like to take a moment before we depart to send to you our gratitude and our appreciation for working with those around you to the degree that you are, for coming through the trials and tribulations that you've experienced in your own personal life to surpass the limiting possibilities that went along with those experiences, to allow them to catapult you into a heightened state of awareness where you are now able to share with others what you have learned and what you are continuing to learn, being open and honest about that you are still in the learning phase, that you are also teaching. You are also sharing with others what you have learned while still receiving information, while still receiving the teachings that the universe is offering to you. We are immensely grateful for your efforts, for your continued happiness, for your continued determination to make a difference on your planet. We would like to thank you for this opportunity to exchange with you. And we would like to know that we are there supporting you every step of the way. And we look forward to our next opportunity to converse and exchange.
Thank you, Solomon.
Thank you, Solomon.